seems like I've been writing this story in my head for days, months, years, way before Florence left us with absolutely no notice. But finally, before the next luncheon at my house, with Florence directing my writing hand when she feels like it, I have a piece to finish. Meet Rena, Frida, Diana, Hilda, Florence, Trudy, and Pearl. A band of passionate women, passionate educators, who embraced me when I was freshly arrived from a small town in the Catskills, starving for the gifts of New York City, that was just a car ride away from a new job and a new home. Together we bonded on our Monday night rides to the 92nd Street Y's Poetry Center, made famous for its illustrious array of writers. Yes, the Y stimulated us, but we stimulated each other in heated conversations as we drove into the city, as we ate and drank together, as we walked the streets of New York, as we sat in audiences filled with energized lovers of the written word. Of course, it wasn't just those Monday nights. Over the years, each of us has had other cultural passions satisfied in New York. It was opera for Frida, Diana, Pearl, and Rena, art galleries for Hilda and Trudy, theater for Florence and for me, and dance at the Joyce for all of us. And when we stopped our Monday night runs for our shot of the Y, we continued our tradition of stimulating conversation, often over my dining room table. So let me invite you to join our table for just a small taste of the 92nd Street Y babes.
We enjoyed so many wonderful years at the 92nd Street Y Poetry Center, which was so informative, not only on poetry, on novels.
Can you give me one thing you remember? One moment that you remember there, beside me sleeping?
Oh, that's why you don't remember.
Diana, you got one?
Yeah, I want to remember one moment at the 92nd Street Y, which I will never forget. Joseph Heller. We were there, I think,
with the ball, with the beach
ball?
Good
as Gold came out. And he said, you people out there vote. He said, I haven't voted in years. You think the people in Washington are making the decisions? He said, no. He said, it's people in corporations around the world that are deciding American domestic and foreign policy. And I have never forgotten that. That must be about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And so true and so prophetic.
Hi, Frida.
Since I am a Heller, I must agree with her. My maiden name is Heller.
But you got to find your own story, though.
Yeah, my
I'm
own
sorry,
story.
You can't have her.
Well, I enjoyed a lot of stories. I don't remember the name, but I also enjoyed your simchas, your anniversaries, and I thought they were always wonderful.
We have another one coming up, 15.
Okay, there we go. I mean, what could be
You're all invited.
Then uniting all the friends together, even today. I mean, I miss her, and I think about Bonnie a lot, but I don't pick up the phone and call her. I should. And I have to tell you, you're a great person. Thank you for doing
Here.
bringing us here.
And she makes the best lunches.
I have to tell you that one of the
With
things,
the best people.
one of the things I remember is I remember a lot of things from 92nd Street Y, but one thing in particular, I remember going to my first Metropolitan Opera, La Traviata. Was it? Yeah. With you, and I think you too. And Rena, I think you too. I was in heaven. I was sitting behind you.
Yeah.
And I was transported. It was
Transported is right.
anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
What do you remember, Hilda?
Well, I still have one thing I have
Okay, wait, going back.
I have to tell this one. The one thing I remember when being in school with you and you invited me to show a class with your students and how you dealt with these students. You gave them each time to speak, and there was such a feeling of I want to learn, I want to listen to this woman. And I was absolutely out of my mind when I saw this. It was just beautiful.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
See what this has become?
Remember that?
I didn't.
No, that's wonderful.
You rigged it, we know.
Her turn.
All right, Missy.
I loved going to the Poetry Center. I looked forward to it during the week, and getting together with my friends was very, very beautiful.
But you never wanted to go to the Chinese restaurant with us.
It's my turn! And I remember the restaurants that we went to, and the bread was very, very
She's a bread girl.
and
And she used to take it home.
And it still is today. The bread is very, very important. And I tell this story to everyone that I met Philip Roth in the lobby. And I went over to him. He had a blank face on. And I said, hello. I read Portnoy's complaint many, many years ago. And I just loved it. Thank you. And his answer or his response to me was, you know, I have written other books.
That's him.
He's probably going to get the Nobel Prize this week.
Yes,
Yes.
he's just-
Who got it?
he
He's
just-
supposed to get it this week.
Really?
Yeah.
It was on 60
Wow.
Minutes.
A new book,
It was in the
yeah.
Times.
It's not a great review.
Nemesis,
isn't it? Not
Yeah, but it was written like 80 books.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said, I've read some of them, and I just walked away because he was so.
Arrogant.
He is arrogant. He was on a Sunday morning this Sunday.
Oh, yeah, I
Also,
saw
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that.
Yeah. Arrogant.
Arrogant.
And he was
He has
correcting the questions.
He has a right to be, you know.
Nothing like,
No,
who's the
no.
one that just died recently?
Who wrote How?
Who wrote all those short stories?
H-O-W-N.
Who wrote Run Rabbit
We
Run?
heard Allen Ginsberg recite How at the 92nd
He has a
Street
daughter.
Y.
He has a daughter as well. This man who wrote.
No, who wrote Run Rabbit Run?
Updike.
Updike, John Updike. He just died. Now that's a
Yes, he just
that's a
died.
class act.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
And then how old was he? He was a younger man.
I think he was in his 80s.
Oh, he was?
I think so.
Everybody is younger to us these days.
It was a very special time.
I have
Let me
to
just
say-
finish.
Oh,
Just one
okay.
Oh, okay.
And they raised the prices.
Yeah, they're very expensive.
They are, yeah.
They're like $29.
Can I finish?
You're gonna
Yes.
finish, Mama Love, you're gonna finish.
It was a very special time for me because it was a family of friends. And as we've grown older, we have other things to do. We don't call each other. We don't go to the Poetry Center. We don't eat in each other's homes. We don't cook anymore. But the memories will live on. It was beautiful. Thank
Do you
you.
remember we used to go to Rupert's? I think
We're here, we're together.
What's Rupert's?
Rupert's was a restaurant that was right on the corner on 3rd Avenue. And, you know, for me, I mean, I came from Ellenville, and I didn't have, no offense, I mean, I love my little town, but
You-
there's-
you were here.
Pulled her in.
right, but, you know,
You did.
I was able, I mean, to be able to cross the George Washington Bridge, you know, every Monday afternoon around 5:30, and know we could have a lovely dinner and see something amazing, and be home by 10:30 before I had to go to bed.
Yeah.
It was just, I said, thank God every day, you know, as we were going over
My
the
turn.
bridge.
I'm running out of.
We heard
I'm
on the
losing track
sides,
of everything.
Adrian Rich, and who was that other Jewish poet who was so wonderful?
And how about that English playwright? What was his name?
Shakespeare.
No, no, no. No, it's the guy who writes really wild stuff.
Bad stuff.
And the Chilean guy, who's so
Allende was.
Allende
What's
was
her
good.
name?
Elizabeth Allende, we heard her.
How about the Israeli? He was fabulous.
Oh, the little one, the short one.
Fame Mossad.
And
Oh,
the-
yes.
This guy who wrote these plays, these English
What about
plays.
Grossman?
I saw a play.
Oh, he
of
wrote a
his
new book.
when I was-
I want to read
I
it.
have it on my Kindle.
When I was very, very young, it was a place that you can go free on a Saturday or a Sunday, and the play was wild, absolutely wild.
Davenport Theater, you can go free.
Yes, Davenport Theater we
Oh,
went.
God.
And
All right,
what
Hilda.
was his name?
All right, but
This guy
we got to move off you right now.
You're
Okay,
taking
now
the
before my
first
first,
time.
okay, my turn.
Sorry, Rita.
I'm gonna forget.
But anybody can jump in after we get,
I got a fried brain right now. I have to thank Hilda for pulling Bonnie into our group.
Oh man, what is this? It's like a
Because
love fest
Bonnie
for me
was in
today.
her department. And none of us would have known Bonnie if Hilda hadn't pulled her for coffee every afternoon after school. Thank you, Hilda.
Rosh
Second,
Hashanah was the first
I
time.
have to thank Diana for having sponsored our trip to Washington, D.C. 100 years ago for the March on Choice.
That's
And I have the T-shirt that
I
I
do too.
painted with little blue eggs and pink sperm, or pink eggs and blue sperm. They're all over, and I just found that shirt.
And,
shirt
and,
that
and,
says
and the
choice.
fight for choice still goes on.
Yeah.
And it's getting
Yeah, but
harder.
we did that.
Yeah,
Now-
no, that was wonderful.
Now, see, there were two more things I wanted to say, but I forgot what they were. So go to her, and then I'll come
But we'll jump back at you.
Okay. We're talking about the group, and what I'm most happy about and pleased with is that we are still together. And we, hold it a minute.
Here.
We
Here,
have
here,
seen
here.
each other at our worst, and we have seen each other at our best, and we just hung on, and we stayed together. So I think that's a tribute to all of us.
Here, here.
Pearl?
Well, I'm gonna hopefully make you all laugh. You may have heard the story before, okay? Before I tell the story, I never belonged to the 92nd Street Y group.
But we
You
let you
were busy
anyway.
writing books.
I joined you afterwards. But I did meet my first boyfriend there, my first long-term boyfriend there, Hyde Bernstein. The years before Mel. But here's the story. Havara group grew out of your relationship as well. And I'll never forget one particular Havara meeting on one very warm evening. One very warm evening when Sig Tobias jumped into the pool
And
took
took off
off
his
all
clothes.
the stark naked. Yes. But the funny thing about this story is that at one point I wrote a piece for a journal, and I got a response back, a reviewer back, who said that in the journal, or it was my book maybe, that I was sexist because I referred to this author who was S. Tobias as he. And S. Tobias is
Sig.
Sheila
Oh,
Tobias.
shit.
And she's a woman, and you're not supposed to refer to an author as he or
So how do you
or
refer
she.
to them?
You say the
You say the author.
Oh.
The author. So I was accused of being sexist. So I called them up, the reviewer, and I said, well, I'm sorry, but I wasn't referring to Sheila Tobias. I was referring to Sig Tobias, and if you check the date, you'd see that that was the publication, S. Tobias. And I said, besides, one hot summer night, Sig Tobias jumped into my swimming pool au natural, and so I know he's a he. They told me that I shook up the whole office. The story went around and around and around.
Does anybody want to add anything?
One more
Go ahead.
back. I remember there was a Break the Fast at my house, and Bonnie was sitting here. And Julia was sitting there, and Bonnie said to me, do you think maybe he'd go out with
Not yet, I didn't say that.
Do you think?
I
No,
called,
no,
I
no,
called
no.
you up on the
I
phone.
could-
No,
Me?
no.
Well,
I was sitting on that couch.
Me and Hilda were sitting there together, and
Okay. Yes,
Hilda would say, you know, he's coming back over here again. Do you want to talk to
I
him?
remember that.
I remember the whole
She
thing.
said, Dan, do you think I should get up yet, or what do you want me to do?
I wanted to get up and remove myself. And
So that
then-
he could sit down.
Yeah, and somehow, through you, Rena, we got Bonnie to go out.
Yeah,
Wait
it was
a
a
minute, we
phone
checked-
call from here to
Yeah.
here and there to there.
No, but